Good morning. 30 sheets of skatelite. I'm gonna go through and do the recommended diamond pattern from their website. So I got to pre-drill every single sheet. Today I'm gonna do just 10 sheets. So that's one mini ramp total. And in case you care to know, it's a 3/16 bit with a countersink. All right, 10 sheets down, 20 to go. I'm gonna take these out, put them on real quick, and then I'm gonna just come back and keep drilling the other 20 and do those later. But Skatelite gave me this gigantic pallet thing to use too. So, onward. All right, this took me about 2 hours to lay down. Probably doesn't look like much. Definitely feels like a lot. Looks amazing though, I cannot wait to ride it. The box jump, before the coping stuck out way too far, so when you hit it as a box jump, it would really buck you. It looks really good, I cannot wait to hit it.
Yeah, just pull up and I'm like, that's right. I like halfway
Good morning. Finished skatelighting. 24 sheets total. I got 6 left in my garage. I have that tiny little sliver, which I may or may not put right there, and I still have a sliver over there to use. I still got to fix the top of this. It's not gonna be too hard. One thing I wanted to show real quick is This quarter right here is really separating. I don't know if you can see in there. So I got these 6-inch long screws I'm going to try to go through all the way through. I got 12 of them to try to help hold the whole thing back together. We'll see how it works. Alright, lastly for the day, this thing came loose. So I'm putting some 5-inch screws in it. Don't worry, those things don't sting you. See the baby quail?
They're babies! There's baby quails, I want to hold them.
Alright, good morning. It is 5:34 in the morning. Have a really big day planned. One of my childhood friends from when I was, it was my babysitter's son, and she would babysit me, I think, when I was like probably 2 or 3 years old. Anyway, he drove all the way down just to help me out. Doesn't ride or skate or anything, literally just wants to be a part of it and help. Just super awesome. And he left at 3 in the morning from Phoenix just to get here at 5, just so he could work, you know, and not in the heat and most of the day. So super thankful. It's pretty awesome to see stuff like that. Just love from people that don't even ride bikes and skate. It's awesome.
Like more independent, so you can like wipe your own butt.
Yeah. Well,
That's going in YouTube.
So.
Alright, so these got a fresh coat of paint and some thick layer of spar urethane. As you can see, it's pretty shiny, still wet. This got put together, about 90% done. Just needs 1/3 and final layer. It's going to be a really quick, tight, like in and out. Go from the spine into the other spine, or this spine into this spine, into this hip, whatever. Be interesting to see how it works because it's really quick and tight and steep. So it's just gonna be like immediately like in and out. But it'll be very interesting to see how it rides. What else? Oh, the quarter over here is done. Or the landing, I guess. Not really a quarter. But be a nice little hip. Maybe a fun little quarter to jib around on over here. Well, that took forever. In my head, I was like, yeah, we'll be able to easily do that, easily do the landing and finish the bowl corner, but nah, it's 2 o'clock. Been out here since 5:30 in the morning. And I'm gonna go in my house and rest, take a break. I don't know if I'll come back out here later. But definitely a good day. I got a lot of stuff done. I'm curious to see how that rides. And I would really like to finish that landing before I leave here, so I can do that transfer from the 8-foot into this landing and then hit a hip. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's it. Clean up a little bit more and then head home. Alright, I'm out. Alright, so for this bowl corner, traditional bowl corner, you're gonna have at least 3 of these templates. And the thing that sucks is you have to cut every single stud to fill in between each gap. Not only do you have to do the angle on the sides of the studs to fit the 2 templates, you know, rising up, you also have to cut the front of each 2x6, each tiny little 2x6 with that, you know, whatever degree radius you're using, which I'm using at 8. So this is a very non-traditional. I've never seen anyone do a bowl corner like this. I need to lower that down. I'm actually going to flatten it out too. This will be the deck. I was going to have it keep going up and go up at this angle, but now I'm just going to make a little love seat. So the love seat this will be a little more level like this. It'll be big and then just come down like that. But this will just go straight across and flat. So my idea, hopefully this works. I have a big piece of cardboard. I have a bigger piece over there if I need it. I'm just going to use the cardboard, bend the corner here to this angle, and then bend it over here to that angle, and then I'll just leave those bends in it, take that over to my wood, trace those angles, and then obviously I'm going to have my radius the same. I have a bunch of scrap 2x6s that I got. I'm going to put on the ends and probably in the middle. I'm going to double up the 2x6s. But this thing is going to be super strong because it's as if you're trying to break these 2 pieces of plywood this way, you know, because the pressure is going to be in the front. So all these little cracks in the 2x6s aren't, you know, that's not what gives it the strength. This just gives me something to screw the plywood sheets down into. So if I have a bunch of these, you know, 8 inches apart, it's going to be super strong still. And I'm going to be using a bunch of metal brackets, which I also found in the dump site for free. Yeah, so it should be a lot easier than a traditional bowl corner, but it's still going to be a lot of work. It's just going to be less studs that I have to make myself. And then, as you can see, I'll have a deck up here, which I'm going to, you know, fix all this later on. Alright, this was my hour's worth of work. Got this pretty leveled out. Super janky. Everything's ghetto, obviously. That's how I roll. This I cut into shape. Just got these supports underneath here. I got 2 legs and a support going across. Then I have enough gap in the front so that I can do 2x6s face all the way across that, and then I can do plywood on front of that if I want to, which I don't need to. Filling in that little corner will be pretty easy. So for this guy, since it's so long, I have supports in the centers, or the center-ish of it. So I got this block here on that leg, then I got this leg that I put up, and I got another block supporting it. Then I've got these metal brackets. For this, I think what I'm gonna do is just put 2 or 3 2x6s going to that corner. Once I have everything deck-wise good to go, and then I gotta put some stuff on the base of this, then I can just focus on the studs. Studs are gonna be really time consuming as well. Alright, so for the second stud down, like I said, it's gonna be a little shorter. So I marked 8 inches down on both sides, and then I took this piece here and I put it I put it right on the 8-inch mark that I made, and then this is how, like from here to that corner is going to be how long that stud needs to be. So I put this line here right on the edge there, and then this corner right on the edge here. Trace that line, and then after that I can figure out my angles. Like I'll just do kind of a rough draft right now, and then go over there and just kind of mess around with it and perfect it. That actually looks pretty good. I can give myself a little bit of leeway if there's like a little bit of a gap, like if my angle is not perfect, because I can just kind of use the 2x6 that's in there to fill the gap, if that makes sense. So once I got this one perfect, which it looks pretty good right now, I can just use this to trace the next piece, fill it in with 2x6s, and press on. And I'm gonna have to do that process 8 times to do just one side, and then I'm gonna have to do 8 more times on that side. So 16 cuts of plywood and all the 2x6s that go in between, and then I have to do that twice. So it's a lot, but honestly I think it's still easier than the 2x6 method, where it's just 1,000 little 2x6s that you have to cut each little one, you know, exactly the same, line them all up. This I only have to line up the 2 sides, so it's nice. I was gonna try to save myself from having to sweep up all the skatelite, but I think it's inevitable that I'm gonna have to. So I think I'm just gonna move my workspace right here on top of all the skatelite, and I'll just deal with cleaning it later. Alright, as you see, this is a weird shape in the back. All I care about is the angle here, here, and the curve. So this piece I've got that, that, and that. I don't care about the back, as long as it's not going to hit anything, which I have a lot of space to work with. My phone overheats very easily out here, so it turns the camera off. It's hard to actually film the whole process, but only have about 3 more to go on this side. This bottom piece I'm gonna kind of fill in as big as I can, just like random pieces, just, you know, screwed in all weird. So you see it kind of looks weird, almost like it's gonna be like a W, but trust my work, I guess. Yep. It's actually pretty rounded in the end. Just, it looks weird also with the 2x6s if you do it. It looks the same way. It just doesn't look like it's going to be smooth. Kind of an illusion. But it's definitely coming together. It's freaking hot as heck. I do have 2x, I think 10 or 12. Like I have one of those at least. As you can see, I used here. My theory is as long as I got about 6 inches, good. And as you go down, especially when you have to make the stud out of plywood and 2x6s, obviously the smaller they get, the easier it becomes. You have to, you know, cut less 2x6s up. So this side shouldn't take me much longer to finish. I'm gonna take a break right now and just cool off a little bit, and then at least finish that side, hopefully finish this side. If I can make that my goal for today, like just to finish ribbing the whole thing, then tomorrow I can make it my goal to skin it, paint it, and then probably do some more spar urethane. And then I want to put 2x6s in the face of this ledge curb here, and then fixing that little corner back there will be pretty easy. But yeah, that's the progress I have so far. It's coming along. It is a lot of freaking work. Everyone was asking if I was going to do this, and almost every time I said heck no. But eventually kind of just was like, well, I've already built everything else. I've never done a bowl corner, and I had this theory, and I wanted to just kind of prove to myself that it works. Then I wanted to kind of show the rest of the world you don't have to do the whole 1,000 little tiny 2x6s all cut individually, you know, line them up. You can just do big studs that are custom made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's probably, you know, just as much work getting these angles right on one big stud as it is on one small 2x6. So like I said, I'm gonna go take a break, cool off. It's probably gonna be 110 degrees today. Currently outside it is 111 degrees. So I think it's safe to say I'm going to stop working on the bowl corner for the day, unless I'm able to come out here in the evening. But if I come out in the evening, I'm more than likely just going to ride and not build. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to take like 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm going to build the spine extension thing I've been wanting to build. I'll try to film it if my phone will let me. Yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. Alright, weird little trick that I do. I wanted this board to be cut in half. And since I'm not using a tape measure, I literally just will like find the balance point, and I'll use that, eyeball that. That's where I'll cut it. And then I'll stick the two together, butt up one side. Obviously they're more than likely not going to be perfect, so then I'll draw my line and just cut that little excess off. So at least I'm not wasting a ton of wood. It's almost exactly in half, and they are going to be exactly the same length once I cut that off. Then I'll use one of these to measure that, and I'll have my 3 pieces that I need. Alright, here's the idea. It's about a 4-foot long piece. Those 2x6s will go here. Everything's gonna triangle butt up together. I'll cut off the corner wherever it meets the 2x6. Then this whole thing will get put on top of here. I'll just screw it down all around. Add the plywood I need to match the face. And that will be almost a 5-foot spine in that section. Removable, movable, whatever you want to do. It'll give you more speed to hit this. You'll be able to do like tire pressure stuff in it, whatever you want to do. But it's basically like a 10-minute build. Alright, good amount of it is done. Just gotta finish the back, put a bunch more screws in it. And what's cool is I have this sheet of skatelite that I can actually put on the face of it to make it super smooth. And this is more of a landing anyway, because it's all about getting speed for the box, but you can still hit it backwards. I actually jumped it how it is, and it's fine. But yep, I'm out. It's way too hot. Up the road, not too far from the ramp, they have this little runway that they built specifically for RC airplanes. It's kind of cool. Usually see them flying around when I'm driving home from work. I don't see anyone taking off right now, but it's still pretty cool. Just left Home Depot with 50% off sheets of wood, save 140 bucks. just want to show a quick pro tip. Rubber band for your excess. I'm out. Another quick pro tip. 120 watt inverter, like 30 bucks. For the 60 watts for the charger, for the battery charger. So during the day, in the morning I can use it. And then on my way to and from work, I can have it charging in the truck. Also, if you're going to be working in 100-degree weather, it is better to drink electrolytes than it is to drink water. Alright, so my intentions of going to Home Depot are to buy 3 sheets of 3/4 inch to do the landing right here. However, after doing the landing here, which is a hip to dirt, I'm not really sold on putting a hip here anymore, because you're just gonna hit this hip all big and high and then land, and you're gonna have all the speed into these cactus, and it just doesn't really make sense. I would need to build like a berm up, for me at least, brakeless. And it's just not like a great idea to be riding the ramp and then going straight to the dirt with your tires and then back to the ramp, because you want to keep the skatelite pretty clean, which is hard to do out here with the dirt as is. So what I did instead is I only got 1 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm gonna just use it for the deck up there, because that thing really needs some love. And I'm gonna use, instead of making a landing, I'm gonna use a bunch of the 2x6s to support that deck more. And then I'll probably put a bunch of 2x6s under here still, even though I've already done that. And then I'm gonna use that 3/4 inch sheet of plywood to put on top of this deck, because that is OSB. So I want it to be a better sheet of plywood than what's up there. And it'll also protect the top of the front of this more when we just do stalls. So that's all I did. I only bought 1 sheet of 3/4 inch, and it was there was only one in the 50% off pile anyway. But snagged that, and then I got 2 1/2 inch sheets, and these I will use to do the bowl corner, and also if I have leftover, the little in and out thing. So that's it. All right, real quick, threw a new deck up there. Looks much better. And I threw a new deck on top of the 6-foot back there. Put some more supports underneath this thing. It was a bit of a trampoline on top. And then I got a new deck up there. It's ghetto, but it works. That decking up there is definitely going to help protect with the stalls and stuff that we do on it, because before the plywood in the face was sticking up and meeting with the plywood back here. So when you do your stalls, it'll like rip off the plywood each time. I don't know why when I leave a push broom or any sort of broom at the ramp hidden somewhere, it takes 1 or 2 days for someone to find it and break it. But I was able to salvage this one, so suck it, nerds. Just finished this up. Took another 10-15 minutes. Probably closer to 30, but whatever. It's not perfect, but it should feel pretty good. Should give you just that much more speed for the box jump, and probably help the younger kids work their way up to the 5-foot spine, so they can kind of get used to the 4-foot and then just start going off that lip, and then eventually into the landing, and it'll pretty much be the same as this spine, which is a little more intimidating. Yeah, that's it for the day. I'm out.
Okay, try to explain the cardboard thing real quick. Basically, I marked my 8 inches down, and what I'm actually doing is instead of marking down 8-inch lines, I'm just doing the same gap between the two pieces. So my line will be here on this little black smudge and over here. And then what I do is I take the cardboard, I fit it, I put it on that line over there, on this line over here, and then bend it so that it's touching, you know, both sides. And then that will give me at least a rough estimate of my angles. So I can put this down on the plywood and at least get these angles. I'll cut them a little long to be safe, then do my fittings, and then I can cut the front off, since I know the front's gonna be the same every time. That's it. Alright, since you have the idea of how I'm doing it, I'm not gonna record the whole process. Running a little low on storage, but this was, I mean, I did like 3 studs maybe, and that's probably like hours worth of work. So it's definitely time consuming. The last few right here, I'm gonna use this 2x10 it looks like, and then 2x12. So that will save me time. Then I'll only have to make one more maybe here. I've got this one I can use for the very bottom, which will actually like rest on the ground, which will be nice. And the very last small ones, I'll actually be able to use the 2x6s, and I'll just put a bunch of supports underneath those, and then just kind of fill in the bottom with just a bunch of, you know, stuff to just hold it all together. Make sure the bottom's really strong. All these side pieces here have metal brackets, top and bottom, so it's super strong. I'm able to, you know, climb up them, stand on them. And as you can see up here, you can see it looks a lot smoother than it does from the bottom angle. This was out here, somebody had made this, which is kind of cool. The only thing that I don't like is that they made it pretty permanent. I don't know how they screwed it in, but it looks like they screwed it in as they made the frame and then covered it, so there's like no way of unscrewing it and moving it around. All you have to do is unscrew the bottom screws and then the side brackets, and you can take that off or move it. I wish they would have done something similar with this, because this is like a really good deck spot to practice manual tricks, Bunsen burner, 540 tire type stuff. And it was going to be nice to have the bowl to fall into, since this was such a short area. Whenever I would try to do 540 tire taps, I'd always end up over here. So it would be nice to have been able to do a 540 tire tap and travel, and then be able to fall into the bowl corner. Also, that manual line is pretty much gone now. You have to lane in a manual in that. But it's still fun. I had fun on it at least. As a step up, it's pretty hard. I did not try going down. I was a little too scared. And doing ice over was pretty fun. Super easy on it.
but just jumping it, you know, wasn't really that fun for me. Dougsterbob, he was able to do tail whip. You go check out his channel. I'm sure you'll be able to see it. And he did a bar spin into it also. Yeah, I like it. I like that people are building stuff. I just wish that particular thing wasn't so permanent in that spot. Moving onward, the bowl corner. My intentions are put a second layer on this top part of good wood like this stuff, cover the OSB up, put a few studs underneath this, and then put a face on it, and then fill in that back corner, and then this will be done. I'm going to paint the whole thing, spar urethane. I'm going to fill in these little cracks with as much paint as I can. So I'll probably put 2 or 3 coats of paint on it, really thick. Then the spar urethane to give it that like stiffness, similar to skatelite. And then if I have to, especially down here at the corner, I have a metal sheet up there, but I might put that down, and I might put down some epoxy to kind of raise up everything to be level. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it looks really cool for my first ever bowl corner. It's completely untraditional. The way I did the studs and even the way I did the face. Normally you do triangles going upward, and that kind of gives it like a bumpy feel when you're going across, which I feel like that's how you mostly go through bowl corners, is across it. And I feel like this way it's going to be a little smoother pumping around because I made them elongated sideways. Running with the grain, basically, or riding with the grain. Yeah, I'm definitely proud of it for being my very first ever bowl corner. I think it looks cool. I'm out. All right, good morning. For the final time on the Poorman Ramp build. Like I mentioned before, somebody had built this. They made it kind of permanent, so I actually took it apart, unscrewed it from the deck, and then put it back together, and put some handles in it so you can move it. It's heavy enough that it doesn't need to be screwed down to the deck, but I do think it's a cool feature. I'm glad people are actually building stuff, adding onto the ramp. I just, you know, would prefer, if you're gonna do something like that, make it movable. Just like this you can take off if you really wanted to. It's just the bottom screws and the metal brackets on the sides. This is done as far as I'm gonna go with it. It's a little rough looking. I think it looks pretty cool. For BMX, it's, you know, like everything out here, it's not gonna really matter. Everything has a fresh coat of paint to last while I'm gone, hopefully help it last. This is painted. That I'm probably going to paint later on in the week if I'm able to come out here. Same with this. And then I have a little more spar urethane, which I believe will be enough to do this section, that section, and the bowl corner face. But I'm not going to film that or make it part of this video. This video is already so long. Real quick, wanted to shout out Dougsterbob. If you want to go check out his YouTube channel, he has a lot of awesome videos on, you know, getting the perfect bike for yourself, and they're starting to do like a school for BMX. If you want to try to learn tricks or whatever, they give you a bunch of tips and how your bike should be set up for it, stuff like that. Super cool. He came out here and rode for a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. I didn't get any footage of it. I tried, and it was in the afternoon, so I got like 3 seconds and my phone was just too hot already. He did send me some clips, so I'll throw those in the video. And yeah, that's it. Just want to say thanks to everyone that donated. Thanks to everyone that watches these videos and all the positive feedback that I get. Thanks for the younger generation that has come out and started helping build, painting, anything helps, keeping it clean. Just it's cool to see how big it's gotten. It's cool to see like there's actually people coming out here on pretty much a daily basis now. Whereas like maybe just even a few months ago, you could come out here on a weekend and ride by yourself. Yeah, this is it. Last video for a long time on the ramp. Expect to see, I'm gonna keep the channel going as much as I can, just to document other projects that I do. I want to start doing calisthenic type stuff, and then I want to start doing 3D printing. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna have a bunch of ideas for bike parts, and I want to start designing them and 3D printing them. And I guess I'll just try to get like input from online from you guys, if you think it'll work or if it's something you would even want. Yeah, this is it. Tried to do a little shade up there, didn't work out too well. Definitely could be bigger and better, or at least there's something. I'm out. Thanks for watching.